This has been the longest it's been since I've released new music that's not Christmas.
Oh, we know Kelly. It's been almost 6 years since she dropped Meaning of Life, and she wrote and recorded tons of material for a new album after filing for divorce in June 2020. But Kelly still asked herself,
will I release this? I don't know. And anyway, I did. So we are doing it.
And we're glad that you did, Kelly. I get that she was hesitant to revisit these emotions that she's moved on from, but the music that she created when she was in those emotions is just too good to keep locked in the lab.
I don't need somebody to hold me.
Me is one of 2 tracks that Kelly released yesterday to launch her upcoming album, Chemistry, which will be released on June 23rd. While Kelly wrote more than enough songs herself or in sessions with other songwriters to fill an album, she still entertained submissions that her label sent her by others.
I was having a hard time connecting to, even though I love the songs that were being sent in, it just wasn't where I was and for this chapter of my life. And it was very hard. It's like, how can someone possibly know what I'm feeling?
Well, someone did answer that question via email. So Kelly received a first verse and chorus for what would become Me from her label, written by fellow Texan and fellow Atlantic Records artist, Gayle.
I've never met Gayle. I'm just a huge fan.
Never even liked you in the first place.
Gayle's breakout hit ABCDEFU was nominated for Song of the Year at the Grammys in February, and Kelly covered it on her talk show a couple weeks ago with a lyric change that made the Kiss Off track a little more personal.
Forget you and your dad and the fact that you got half.
Now, while Gayle's hit song allowed Kelly to insert a dig at her ex, Kelly had written plenty of songs that included digs at her ex. But Gayle's song submission was something different. After the digs are done, it's about asserting your self-worth and coming out of the relationship stronger.
I hadn't written that song for the album yet. I hadn't written anything like that because I wasn't really feeling that at the moment.
But Kelly was immediately feeling it after hearing Gayle's song and didn't waste that moment.
I literally got the song, the idea, and then I finished it that night. I ended up writing the second verse and bridge that night.
One of the lines that came pouring out of Kelly to complete Me was the lyric that made me go, oh.
Don't need somebody who feels weak standing next to me.
One of my favorite lines on the whole record is too weak to stand next to me. And that's not, I know it sounds like a big dig, and it is a bit of a dig.
Kelly, I felt the impact of that line. Like that line hit me. I'm not saying whether or not she should have done that line or not. I'm actually saying that it was more impactful because it bothers me that Kelly went through something that she feels that way and has to express that. Like, that's just awful that she went through something like that. So I don't care about Brandon. Who cares? I'm just saying that I felt the impact of Kelly going through that. But Kelly says the line isn't about putting Brendan down. It's about putting them apart.
It's more or less the line of like, we're not at the same place right now, and that's okay. But like, I need this. And I need to find this is what I need. We're just, sometimes at different places, and it doesn't match up. Relationships can be hard, but they can be too hard, Now,
as cutting as that lyric is, Kelly says she wrote others that were even more cutting. I don't even know how that's possible, but sure. But they will go unheard on Chemistry.
Look, several songs didn't make the cut because they were maybe too honest. So I filtered myself.
Well, I'm glad Kelly decided to take us to church on Me and give us vocals.
I put together my broken.
Look, I love a big, bold, soulful ballad anthem. Right? I'm into that. So that worked. But also, it's just how it came out. It's just how, I know this sounds weird, but certain emotions and certain feelings come out better with different genres of music for me.
The production reminds me of I Don't Think About You from Meaning of Life.
Thought I could never leave.
But Kelly says that album isn't the only one that was part of the formula for this Chemistry.
This album is very much, it's very much pop, but it's got some singer-songwriter stuff on there. It's got some punk rock. It's got some soulfulness on there. It's kind of a marriage, I feel like, of Breakaway Stronger and Meaning of Life. There's just elements of all of that in there.
This is a crazy good song, but when it comes to releasing it as a first single, it's a bold choice because it doesn't have that much pop or radio appeal, and neither does mine. And I also will say, now that I've done these 2 segments, I don't think it was a great idea to release 2 songs simultaneously that are called Me and Mine, so only 2 letters in between there, that's the difference, and that are about the same subject matter, because me trying to put together these segments and going through her Instagram Live and trying to separate what song was what, very confusing. Yeah, it's hard to keep them separated in my mind. So yeah, probably not a great idea to release them on the same day, but there's no confusion over the quality of Me. Like, it's got those emotional, devastating lyrics that Because of You and Piece by Piece had, which are sadly the kind of tracks that Kelly's fans connect to the most.
You're saying I relate? I'm sorry. Like, there is nothing worse than somebody coming up to me and saying, gotta relate to this song. And it's usually the saddest song in my catalog. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But I also get the connection. So I'm grateful for that.
I'm glad that Kelly held off in releasing this music, because if we were hearing this music when Kelly was still going through this, I would be worried about Kelly. But clearly, Kelly is on the other side of things, so we can just sit back and enjoy the great music that came out of Kelly's awful situation and don't have to worry about her well-being. So yeah, Me is fantastic. What are your thoughts on it?